What if I told you that history's most ruthless leaders used psychological tactics so powerful that they could control entire nations, manipulate millions, and crush their enemies without lifting a finger? From dictators to tyrants, these figures mastered the dark side of human psychology, and today, we're uncovering the 7 most chilling tactics they used to dominate. In this video, we'll break down how history's most dangerous leaders, from Hitler to Stalin, Mao to Machiavelli, used psychological warfare, deception, and mind control to seize and maintain power. By understanding these tactics, you'll recognize manipulation in politics, business, and even everyday life. Number 1. The illusion of choice. Most people think they have control over their choices, but sometimes that control is just an illusion. Powerful leaders throughout history have mastered the art of making people feel like they're deciding for themselves when, in reality, every option leads to the same outcome. Joseph Stalin used this trick by holding elections where citizens could vote, but all the candidates were secretly under his control. No matter who won, he stayed in power. Adolf Hitler used propaganda to convince Germans they were choosing war for their own good when he had already planned it all along. The brain likes to feel in control, so when people believe they have choices, they stop questioning what's really happening. Today, this tactic still works. Politicians, big companies, and even social media use it. They offer different options, but all of them lead to the result they want. When people don't notice, they never resist. That's the power of controlling choices without taking them away. Number 2. Fear as a weapon. Fear is one of the most powerful ways to control people. When someone is afraid, they stop thinking clearly and do whatever feels safest. Leaders who want power use fear to keep people obedient. Mao Zedong used this during China's Cultural Revolution. He made people terrified of speaking against him by punishing anyone who disagreed. Friends turned on each other, families were afraid to talk openly, and millions lived in constant panic. Adolf Hitler's secret police, the Gestapo, made sure that even whispering the wrong thing could get someone arrested or worse. Fear kept people silent, even if they hated what was happening. The human brain is wired to avoid danger. So when fear is everywhere, people focus on survival instead of fighting back. This trick isn't just in history. Governments, companies, and even schools sometimes use fear to keep control. When people believe something terrible will happen if they resist, they stay quiet and follow the rules without question. Number 3. Divide and conquer. Keeping people divided is one of the smartest ways to stay in power. When people are too busy fighting each other, they don't notice who is really in control. Many leaders have used this trick to make sure no one rises against them. Napoleon Bonaparte played European countries against each other, so they never united against him. Julius Caesar did the same in Rome, turning senators and generals into enemies while he took more control for himself. It works because people naturally focus on the threats closest to them. Instead of questioning the leader, they blame each other. Even today, politicians, companies, and the media use this tactic. They push different groups to argue over issues while those in power remain untouched. Social media fuels this even more by making people pick sides and fight, never realizing they are being manipulated. As long as people see each other as enemies, the real source of power stays hidden and completely in control. Number 4. The savior narrative. Some leaders don't just want power, they want people to believe they are the only ones who can fix everything. They create a story where without them, everything will fall apart. In North Korea, Kim Jong-un is treated like a god, with people are told he is their protector and savior. Joseph Stalin used propaganda to convince Soviet citizens that only he could lead them to a better future, punishing anyone who doubted him. This works because when people feel lost or scared, they look for someone strong to follow. The brain wants security, and if a leader claims to be the only solution, people cling to that belief. They ignore mistakes, excuse bad decisions, and even give up their own rights because they think they need that leader to survive. This tactic is everywhere, in politics, businesses, and even cults. The more people believe in one person as their only savior, the more power that person has over them. Number 5. Controlling information and propaganda. Controlling information is one of the most powerful ways to control people. When a leader decides what people see, hear, and read, they shape what people believe. In the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin banned books, changed history, and controlled the news so people only knew what he wanted them to know. In North Korea, the government blocks outside information, so citizens never hear different opinions. This works because when people only hear one side of a story, they stop questioning it. The brain trusts what it hears the most, and when other ideas are removed, the controlled version becomes the only truth. This is not just history. Governments, companies, and even social media platforms use this tactic. They decide which stories get shown and which ones disappear. When people don't realize they're only getting part of the truth, they believe what they are told. The more control someone has over information, the easier it is to shape the way people think. Number 6. Normalization of evil. When something terrible happens suddenly, people react. But when it happens little by little, they get used to it. This is how some leaders make evil seem normal. Instead of shocking people all at once, they introduce small changes over time. In Cambodia, Pol Pot didn't start by killing millions. First, he made small rules, like banning certain books. Then, he forced people to move. By the time mass killing started, many were too afraid to resist. The brain adjusts to new situations, even if they are bad. When something slowly becomes part of daily life, it stops feeling strange. This trick is used everywhere. Companies increase prices a little at a time so people don't protest. Governments pass small laws that take away rights step by step. When people finally realize what's happening, it's too late. Those in power know that as long as they move slowly, they can make even the worst things seem normal. Number 7. Psychological warfare. Some leaders don't need to use force to win. They use tricks to mess with people's minds, making them confused, scared, or unsure of what's real. During wars, governments have spread fake information to make enemies panic. In the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union used psychological tactics, sending out false reports and creating fear about spies everywhere. This works because when people don't know what's true, they become easier to control. The brain hates uncertainty, so when someone offers an answer, true or not, people grab onto it. This happens today with fake news, online scams, and even social media influencers twisting stories. Some businesses do it by making people think they need things they don't. It's not about physical power, but about controlling thoughts. When someone keeps people confused and afraid, they can make them believe anything. Those in power know that if they control the way people think, they don't have to control them by force. Powerful leaders have used these tactics for centuries, and they still work today. The real question is, can you spot them before they control you? If this made you think, hit like to support the channel. Want more mind-blowing insights into dark psychology? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Now, tell me in the comments, which of these tactics do you see happening in the world right now? Let's expose the truth together. The more you know, the harder you are to manipulate. Stay sharp, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next one.